Hello and welcome to CX Today. We are here for another CX Trends session. Today I'm joined by Frederic Laziou, CEO of Puzzel. Welcome to the show, Frederic. How are you?
Great. Thanks, David, for having me today. Very excited about this interview and to our conversation today.
Well, we've got a very pertinent conversation to have today. We're going to be talking about AI, but more specifically around customer experience in that mid-market space. And I'm very excited for that. But before we get into the conversation, Frederic, do you want to give us a bit of an introduction to yourself and Puzzel?
Absolutely. Welcome everybody. So, Frederic Laziou, CEO of Puzzel. As you can hear, I'm from France, but I've been living in the Nordics for the last 20 years and CEO of Puzzel since 2021. At Puzzel, what we do is that we enable local brands to deliver exceptional customer experience. And what I mean by local brands, typically our customers or the customer we serve are local brands with local consumer base. So typically our customer plays in the mid-market or what I would describe as local enterprises. And we're serving the Nordic market because we're born and raised in Norway and then expanded in the Nordics. And then a third of our business coming from the UK. And we recently launched our business or entered the Netherlands market or the Dutch market.
Ah, right, fantastic. Well, let's dive into the conversation then. You mentioned, obviously, you specialise in the kind of mid-market and that kind of local enterprise space. What are those key challenges that those types of businesses are facing right now, especially in the CX space, and how can AI-enabled solutions really help with that?
Good. That's a very good question. And first of all, it's interesting. Yes, we serve the mid-market, but I think the challenges are kind of equal to enterprise. It's how today do you differentiate in a very crowded space through customer experience? Because what's at the end, what's the difference between insurance A and insurance B? Probably same type of product, price kind of at the same level. And the big difference is the experience it provides to consumers. And here we all consumers at work. And why do I switch brands? It's a lot due to a bad experience, not too much about the pricing or the product itself. So that's one of the key things. The differentiator is the customer experience. So all our customers and in the mid-market equally are in the business of experiences. One of the challenges we see with mid-market is it's kind of hard. Mid-market, they don't have plenty of resources, such as enterprise, to have people to orchestrate all their application. So they're kind of left alone to navigate the jungle of solution that can help them deliver this differentiator, meaning the customer experience. One last thing I wanted to mention that in the mid-market, one thing that is for sure is our customers' interactions or the amount of interaction they have with their consumers is actually not decreasing, is actually increasing. So more conversation with consumers. But at the same time, you cannot just increase the cost of this conversation. And this is why the big challenge is how do I do to, on one side, self-serve the consumers, because that's what we want. We do not start by picking up the phone. But at the same time, so driving self-service, automation, but at the same time, driving the efficiency within the contact center. So how do I augment my agent, not replace the agent, but augment them so that I can drive productivity, meaning that I can serve an increasing number of interaction with the same number of agents.
Yeah, that's a really good distinct sort of differentiator from some of the messages we've been hearing around AI and replacement of jobs. Where actually it can facilitate more of those connections with those customers, more of those interactions, to actually enhance customer experience rather than I think you said augment rather than replace, which is a really key point, I think.
And one thing, just to comment on this, it's interesting because of course, the question I do have from investors, from analysts, and even from our customer is, what's the future of the agent? Will we have less agent in operating? And actually, so I do not have the crystal ball, but at least what I can see is over the last year and a half, we haven't seen a reduction in number of agents. However, what we've seen is a repurposing of the agent, kind of leaving on the side or leaving the repetitive task or interaction to chatbot, voice bot, and then escalating the meaningful conversation to the agent. And equally seeing that the agent is not only doing inbound support tickets, but as well doing some outbound, more revenue related to work on retention of the customer base.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Well, let's stick with those sort of the challenges and opportunities kind of theme at the moment. What are some of those unique challenges and opportunities that mid-market companies are facing? When it comes to implementing this kind of tech AI, and rather than compared to those sort of larger enterprises that you mentioned.
so first of all, looking at this, it's very important that we all speak about AI and Gen AI and what comes after. To me, it's very important that the mid market understand that AI is just a tool. So it's not that, oh, let's implement AI now, because that's probably where we're going to fail. I think it's so important that, and that's the challenge. So the opportunity is to make sure that we identify, or the mid market, our customers identify what is the real problem they want to solve. Is it that they want to deflect? So meaning that they want to self-serve the users. In that case, okay, what's the solution? A chatbot, a voice bot, and then and only then you start to navigate the ecosystem of potential solutions. The second thing, so that was the use case on deflecting. Maybe that my biggest problem is that I don't have budget to increase the number of agents. I need to enable them to augment them with AI. So if driving efficiency, and then when you boil it down, what is my problem? But actually, we spend too much time between interaction to summarize what has happened with this interaction. So call summarization is one use case of using Gen AI to do that. So to me, that the opportunity is very big, and it's across a different type of use case, driving customer satisfaction and efficiency. However, the key thing to me is to make sure that our customers understand what is the problem they solve. So AI and Gen AI is so wide and broad that it's easy to be lost.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It's such a vast space, and the use cases that you're talking about here, they're coming every day. There's new things coming to market, and I think for a mid-market, or for any size of business, actually, this is tough to keep on top of. I guess with that in mind, for those mid-market organisations that might be watching today, how would you advise them potentially when they're considering or searching for some of these AI tools that are really going to help them?
Sure. So one thing that we see, considering that we serve mid-market and some enterprise customers, obviously, I think the enterprise customers have the ability, the resourcing to go and cherry pick best of breed. Even in the enterprise segment, I think there is a consolidation of number of vendors to decrease complexity. In the mid-market, no one has an IT organization of thousands of individuals. So one of the advice here is to make sure to engage in a relationship or partnership, I should call it, with vendors that can solve not only one use case, but is a partner for your customer engagement. And this is the bet we've been taking at Puzzel, or the bet. That's our strategy when it comes to product, is to offer a broad and deep platform, enabling our customer to orchestrate inbound, outbound, human-led or automated interactions.
Yeah. Now, I mean, how do those companies typically start their journey with AI and customer experience? Are there any sort of specific steps or strategies they should really follow?
I think when it comes to strategy, I will go back to what we discussed previously, is understanding what is the problem you try to solve and what is the business outcome expected out there. It's a balance, because of one thing that is key today is that actually one of our value words at Puzzel is stay hungry, which is very important to stay curious, and there's always new technology. So to go and test, to try, and we will fail, you will fail, but at least to get an understanding of what AI and Gen AI can do for you. So, but at the same time, is being very focused into what you can do. So in the journey, I would say start with what is the problem you want to solve? How would you define success? So I take the example of, are you trying to increase your FCR, or is it the deflection rate, or is it the number of minutes spent after an interaction? Making sure that you have this clear business case. So at the end, if I'm the contact center manager, I need to report something to a CFO or someone else. So my accountability is all around driving a business outcome.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a big fan of bringing AI to life. The audience. It'd be great if we could talk about some sort of case studies. Where yourselves have really helped organisations implement AI and improve that customer satisfaction and loyalty. Can you give us any sort of examples or case studies where you've seen like a really great success story?
Sure, and maybe taking two examples, very, very different. And the first one, think about, we are in October, November, a year and a half ago, energy crisis. So the price of utilities, of energy, electricity and gas went to the roof. One of our customers in the Nordics, delivering or being a utility company, they had customers calling them because they couldn't pay their bills. And in that case, and so meaning the number of interactions went up drastically. So what we put together, and at that time they had what I'm going to call a traditional omni-channel contact center, so voice, SMS, human chat, and they realized that, look, let's implement a chatbot that will deflect the consumers that actually do not need a deep, empathetic conversation. I've lost my password. We should not take the time of the agent to spend on that. So actually they managed to, through that, so we went very quickly to a simple chatbot, but deflecting a lot of stupid questions or simple questions, enable them not to have to recruit or 2x the number of agents in their contact center. A second example, which is totally different, is we are in the UK and in a borough, so the equivalent of non-UK listener today of a municipality. And so we roll out our contact center because they wanted to give a better experience to their users, which is the community. And that was interesting to realize that one of the main reason why they were contacted in the contact center, it was for bin collection. That's one of the main reasons. People say, hey, you didn't pick my garbage. When will you pick that? And actually by implementing a chatbot in that case, so a way to automate, to self-serve the community, they managed to remove up to 30% of all their interactions. And here I'm speaking about simple chatbot solution. However, one thing that is very important is, and that's maybe this piece of advice, is that a chatbot standalone can be, how intelligent it is, it's still very stupid. And one of the reasons I'm mentioning this is a chatbot, we all have this experience where I studied in chatbot, it didn't solve it, and then I need to start from scratch.
Yeah.
So for me, this orchestration to bring this seamless experience is so key. If the chatbot cannot handle it, how do you transfer that to a human agent that can take over the conversation, independently if it's the chatbot go to a human chat or to a video call or a normal phone call?
Yeah, and of course, implementation is fine, but every company has a finite amount of resources to spend on technology, including AI. How can those organizations balance that cost of AI implementation with the potential ROI on customer experience? Is that a tough balance to achieve with this kind of tech?
So it is hard to balance. So on one side, if you're a manager, you're very metrics, KPI driven, and then when you need to go and ask for an improvement, you probably need to go and pitch your business case to someone. So the ROI is always super important. And with self-service, the case can be very straightforward with our metrics, that I deflect 20% of all my interaction. But at the same time, we know that, yes, you can deflect, but if your CSAT or NPS is horrible, maybe you won on the hard metrics, but actually your soft metric that will drive the retention, which is the customer satisfaction, might take a hit. So I think that's where that most of our customers have a balanced approach. It's on one side hard metrics, but making sure that it doesn't come at the detriment of the customer experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Frederic, we're coming towards the end of today's session. But before we leave, let's sort of maybe consolidate some of our thoughts and opinions today for our viewers. What are your sort of final thoughts and recommendations for those companies to really leverage AI for better customer experiences? What would you sort of want to leave our audience with?
Absolutely, and that's and look, that's one opinion, and there's probably other opinion. But what I see, what I believe in is that I go back to our core values, which is stay hungry. That we all need to be very curious this day. We need to go and test to learn. So the advice would start small and do pilots, see if it works. So that's very important. Probably the second thing I would say is think about not creating more silos in your customer experiences. So this is why that reducing the contact center complexity, scaling existing relationship with your vendors, that can be Puzzel or anyone else, but making sure that you have this integration if it doesn't come with the same vendors. And of course, if you are still running on-prem, because many of our customers actually come from on-prem and moving to cloud, I would say that it is the time, it is the time to do the move because of leveraging data across all your channels, but data as well in other systems like CRMs will allow you to deliver this personalized, customized experience independently if it's on the self-service, through automation, or through human when the empathy makes the difference.
Absolutely. So, Freddie, with some great thoughts to end there, some really useful insights for our audience today. I'd just like to say thank you so much for joining us and sharing some of your knowledge.
Thanks a lot, David, for having me. And you know where to find me, so reach out if there's anything.
Fantastic. And thank you for watching. Been watching me, David Dungay, on CX Today. If you like today's conversation, please give us a like and share it on social media. And don't forget, you can follow all the CX Trends sessions on social by using the CX Trends hashtag. That's it from me. See you next time.